Hey guys, my name is Amber, and for today's video we're going to be doing my August TBR. So after reading 9 books somehow last month with work, school, and just, work and school, I see what I'm capable of now, and now that it's August, I'm going to have my final exams this week, and for the rest of August, basically, I have nothing to do. No work, no school, nothing. So I'm going to give myself 9 books again to read this month, but I'm hoping to go over, but this is just the 9 books that I hope to read when I have nothing to do. We'll see. Also, I might go over my 9. I'm hoping to go over because one, I have nothing to do, and my Scribd subscription ends August 18th, and I don't think I want to renew it because I'm not going to have a job for the rest of August, and I probably won't get a job till September, because I just wanted to take a break. But yeah, I won't have any money to be paying for my subscription, so I thought I'd just take a break. So before my thing ends on August 18th, I have a few books. So these are just kind of like, I don't know if you would call it honorary mentions, but I'm not gonna like say what they're about. These are just maybes that I want to listen to before my subscription ends, because I won't really have access to them unless I renew my subscription again. So the first book I'm thinking of reading is Radio Silence by Alice Oseman, Royal Red, White, and Royal Blue. And then I don't know who the author is for that one. And then I want to read A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tahada Mafi, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by I forgot who, but those are just the 4 that I'm thinking of I want to listen to while before my subscription ends for Scribd. Now to get on to the actual books that I'm going to be reading, that I plan on reading, that I feel like I know for sure I'm going to read these this month. So I'm going to start off with the arcs that I want to read first, because they're either coming out in September or coming out in August or something. So I want to read them before they come out. The first 2 arcs that I don't have in my hands because they're both like online arcs that I received. So the first book I'm going to be reading is Lost and Found by Orson Scott Card, I think is how you say it. And so this book is about Ezekiel Blast, and he's a little kid. He's 14 years old, and he has this small power to be able to find lost things. And so like throughout his life, he's just like, what, like this power is kind of like weird and just random, and he doesn't feel like it's useful enough. But then someone goes missing, and this investigator thinks that his power will be useful to find a lost thing. So then he goes on this adventure, to find this missing girl. And I just found that super interesting, and I really liked the cover, and so that's why I requested it. And for some reason the publisher or the author or whoever let me get it. So it's coming out soon. I'll put the date next to the title, and that's when it's coming out. And yeah, I'll give my little review at the end of August on those books or whatever. The next book I'm going to be reading is The Nobody People by Bob Pro L. I'm horrible at pronouncing names, but this book is about people with these like extraordinary powers, and so they finally come out to the public eye, and everybody knows about them now. Like everybody knows that there's people out there with like abilities. So, everyone is just afraid of them, just like how you would expect if that were to happen in real life. Like everyone is afraid of them, everyone is mean to them. The government is like passing laws that are like mean to them and like against them. So then what makes it worse is that this guy like uses his power as an act of violence, like just this mass violence against all these people. And so people are like hate them even more, like they're even scared of them even more. So all of these like people with these powers, they call themselves Nobody People, have to get together and fight for their future, or end up falling apart, and everyone getting them, I guess. I don't know, but it sounds really interesting. And one of the things that the summary compared it to in the summary was X-Men, and I can really see like how they compared it to that, and it's very similar to that. And I loved X-Men so much, so I'm really excited to like get this new version of X-Men, I guess, and hopefully it's somewhat better. So the next arc is kind of weird because this book has already come out, but they're bringing it out in paperback, so they had an arc available to receive, I guess. So I requested it, and I received it somehow. So a bunch of statues pop up all around the world called the Carls. And the first person to get a video of them and talk about them on camera is April May. And so immediately this video goes viral and she becomes famous. And so this book goes through her dealing with this fame, with her life and the consequences of being famous. And then it also has her like trying to figure out not only why the statues popped up, but like what they want from them, the statues, what want from like the people of Earth, I guess. And so yeah, that's just a little small synopsis. I'm very interested. I've already started it, kind of, not really, like I started, like I'm a few pages in, and literally what I just said has basically happened. And yeah, it seems pretty interesting. I'm excited to get into it. The next book I'm going to be reading is Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab. This is the second book to This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. And so I'm not going to spoil what happens, but it's a continuation from that book. But let me just give you like a little synopsis, I guess, of This Savage Song. So there are two sides to this city, and literally like they're just at war right now. So with the violence gets so intense that this violence creates like literal monsters. And so depending on the violence, there's like different levels to each monster. So every monster is dangerous in its own way, but like, yeah, like let's just say someone kills someone, there's gonna be a specific monster, like, and then the biggest thing is like mass massacres, where like a whole bunch of people, if you don't know what that is, I guess, where a whole bunch of people get killed at once, that's like the highest level of monster. And so there's only 3 of those, and those are like the good side of town, and then there's the bad side of town with like the lower monsters, but they're still dangerous in their own way. So the good side is the Flynns, and the bad side is the Harkers. And the Flynns have a son, which is one of the monsters. They're not really his son, but he's, you know, been raised by the good guys or whatever. So the Flynns have a son named August Flynn, and the Harker, he's this evil man. He has a daughter named Kate Harker. And so when their paths collide, they have to decide whether to be a hero or a villain in their life. And that's just like the basis of it. I feel like it's way more complex than that, but that's just a little synopsis. I liked the first book. I gave it 4 stars, I believe, and yeah, it was good. And so I was excited enough to want to continue on in this series and start reading Our Dark Duet, so I'm excited for that. So the next book I want to read is The Illuminate Files by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. So this book is about this planet named Karenza, I believe is how you pronounce it, and it's being attacked by this unknown enemy. And so all the people on it evacuate on all these ships, on 3 ships specifically, and so, you know, like they're thinking they're getting away, like they think they're good and they're running away on these ships, or not running away, they're getting away on these ships. But then when they get on this ship, the intelligence system, you know, in charge of it, the AI thing on it, like suddenly just gets infected or something. And so now it's kind of like they have 2 enemies. They have this enemy that's chasing them, trying to destroy them, and then they have the AI thing that's on their ship, like, that's also against them. So this girl named Katie Grant lived on this planet, and she manages to escape on this ship, on one of the ships, and as all this is happening, she takes it upon herself to try to figure out what's happening with this AI thing on the ship and try to like solve it, I guess. And so the only other person she thinks to be able to help her is her ex-boyfriend, Ezra. And so it just goes through, I guess, her and Ezra trying to figure out how to fix this problem, I guess. I'm not sure, I haven't read it obviously, but from this summary so far, I'm definitely excited to get into it. The next book I want to get into is With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. I am horrible at pronouncing names, as you can tell. Let's just talk about how beautiful this cover is. Like first, like what? It's so cute. And then like, what? It's so cute. But yeah, that was like the main thing that kind of drew me in. Oh my god, look at this back. It's so cute. So the summary of this book, this is about a girl named Imani Santiago, who is an Afro-Latinx high school senior, and she lives in Philadelphia. But another thing that is very interesting is that she became a teen mom her freshman year of high school. So this book is just showing her trying to balance life, like balance going to school, going to work, and having a kid, all while somewhat trying to pursue her dream of trying to become a chef. And her trying to become a chef, one of the things she's trying to do is that she wants to go to this program where she goes to Spain, and it's a culinary program. And so she's like, in her opinion, like she's like, oh, this is impossible. So, but at the same time, she's really like, she's always wanted to pursue her dream of becoming a chef. So it shows her doing that, I guess. I hope she becomes one. I'm sure she becomes, or not becomes one. I'm sure she gets to go to the program. So I'm super excited to just see what it's like to be a teen mom and deal with all of these things, and at the same time see one of them possibly pursue their dream. The next book I want to read is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Now I'm sure nobody's heard of this, so definitely need to get into that summary. Obviously everybody's heard of this. So this book is about a girl named Jude, and when she was 7 years old, her parents were murdered. So her and her two sisters end up living in this high court of this place where there's fairies, I guess you would say. And so throughout her life, she's just kind of like always wanted to belong with them, but they've always kind of stood out because they're all humans. But all of the fairies, or the fae or whatever they're called, like really hate humans, especially the prince of the fairies or whatever, I guess. So there's like this court, like, you know, with the king and the queens or whatever. And so to get on this court, she has to like defy the odds or whatever, I guess, and, you know, go against the prince, and she has to do all this stuff or whatever. I guess like there's this big adventure, I'm sure, where of all this thing, a whole bunch of stuff that happens, I'm guessing. That is a very good explanation. A whole bunch of stuff happens, but I'm not sure, I haven't read the book, where she just tries to get on this court. I don't know, sounds interesting. Everyone has rated this book and how much they love it, but also there's like a whole bunch of mixed reviews at the same time, so I'm like really nervous that I'm gonna not like this book either, but we'll see. For the most part, everyone seems to love it, so I'm sure I'll love it too. So the next book I want to read is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. If you don't know, this is the second book in the Harry Potter series, I guess, and this one is about Harry, obviously. And so Dobby the house elf comes to him before he heads off to Hogwarts for the year, and he tells him that if he goes to school, like a lot of bad things are going to happen. And so Harry Potter, of course, ignores him and goes to Hogwarts, and of course a whole bunch of bad things happen, like a whole bunch of people start turning into stone. So Harry Potter and his friends try to figure out, you know, why this is happening and how they can fix it. And the last book I plan on trying to read is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. So this one is the third book, of course, in the series. This one is about Sirius Black. So he has been in prison for like 12 years, and he was in prison because he murdered like 13 or just like a whole bunch of people. I don't know the specific number, but he murdered a whole bunch of people, and yeah. And so when he escapes, there's kind of like two clues to where he possibly could have gone. And the first one is the fact that, you know, Harry Potter basically got rid of Voldemort. And so with Voldemort being destroyed, or I don't know, killed or missing or whatever, Sirius Black, that was kind of the reason why Sirius Black got caught and he ended up going to jail in the first place. And so there's the fact that, you know, that happened, and so maybe it's probably Harry Potter. Who knows, maybe. So let's listen to the second clue. It was just the fact that, so the video just cuts out right there and I never even noticed, but the second little clue thing that they found was that Sirius Black was caught saying he's at Hogwarts in his sleep or something. So
those are the two clues, and then the whole book is about how Harry Potter's in danger because everybody thinks that Sirius Black is after him to go kill him, I guess. So, back to past me.
So I'm super excited to get into all of these books and hopefully some more if time allows me to be able to do that. And also my next video might be a 24-hour readathon. I don't know. This YouTuber I think it's basically, I forgot her name, but I really like watching her, so I don't know why I forgot her name, but I'll put it here. And she's doing a 24-hour readathon August 11th, I believe. It should be like a Saturday or something. So I'll really have like nothing to do. So I plan on getting a lot of my TBR done that day, hopefully. Like this video, subscribe, comment down below if you think I'm actually going to complete 9 books again this month. And thank you for watching. Bye!